Okay, sorry about the band-aid break there, but once again, kind of showing how strong this sealant is. Trying to take my time here. Looks like I did get this one completed, so number 5 is completely unsealed. Now we're going to go on to number 6. We have that unsealed. All right, so now on to 7 and 8. So once again, starting over an applique, under an applique, even just slightly right there, you're starting to see this laminate or applique delaminate, basically separate apart just by coming in. It may have been a little bit already, but just some of the complications and things that we run into, I'd like to be noted. All right, so we are working through number 8 now, starting on number 7. Once we unseal number 7, we'll be removing our fasteners. Almost. Man. Okay, so we now have all of our shingles unsealed. That is 5, 6, 7, and 8, so we can remove our fasteners. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by going under the assessment shingle to remove our fasteners here under 5 and 6. Once again, when I lift these shingles, I try to lift at the applique as well, not using any pinpoint pressure at these thinner parts of the shingle to try to get it to the back of my hand to lift. So fasteners are coming out pretty well, or pretty easily. I am seeing some mat transfer here that we are going to assess once we get this assessment shingle out. Makes it a little easier to get nice clean photos of everything, get a good look at it. Fasteners all seem to be installed correctly, pretty flush to the decking. This one was a little crooked, caused a slight pull through, but put that one more back on the installation of that one nail, which when you're looking at an entire roof, you know, you can't expect every fastener to be completely flush. You try to do your best. All right. All right, so on this one we did have a pull through on number 5, just due to the brittleness of the shingle. So that's strikes number 5. I'm going to document this. Pull through on shingle 5. Pull through on 5. So that being said, let's try to, when these pull throughs occur, it basically leaves a bigger hole in this shingle. If we're just replacing this assessment shingle, this hole in number 5 would still be present, which creates complications. You can put roof cement in there, but it is not, it still is, the pull through has weakened the integrity of the shingle, and roof cement really is just a temporary fix and not a permanent. Now going under number 6 to number 8. And that should be it. All right, we're gonna give it a light tug here. Should slide right out for us, and we're good to go. So now taking a look at our assessment shingle, we have mat transfer all the way down from number 5. We have mat transfer on the bottom as well that came from 1 and 2, or on 1 and 2. Let me go ahead and document this. So let's start with the front. Mat transfer on assessment shingle, exposed fiberglass matting. Mat transfer on assessment shingle. Underside of assessment shingle, mat transfer. Mat transfer on underside of assessment shingle. Mat transfer on the underside of assessment shingle. So being that there's mat transfer on the assessment shingle on the underside, that means that that has pulled off parts of number 1 and number 2. We've got exposed fiberglass matting. The integrity of these shingles is definitely been, the condition's been changed. At this time, it's gonna basically document this on 1 and 2. Exposed fiberglass mat from mat transfer on shingle 1. Exposed fiberglass mat on shingle 1. Mat transfer and exposed fiberglass on shingle 2 from assessment shingle. Exposed fiberglass mat on shingle 2. Alright, so we have our assessment shingle out. What I always like to do is assess our underlayment to verify what we are working with and to make sure that it was not impacted during the removal of the shingle. And we have felt paper that did just fine, no issues. Felt paper identified as underlayment and was not impacted during the removal of the assessment shingle. By lifting up number 5 right here, I was just able to see mat transfer from 3 to 5 as well. Mat transfer from shingle 3 to 5. Mat transfer from shingle 3. Shingle 3. Right, let's check number 6 here. And yeah, not as impacted, but definitely have some of this is just sealant, so I want to make sure. Yeah, we got some right here. So we have mat transfer on number 6 as well, which that impacts 4 and 6. So mat transfer from shingle 4 to shingle 6. Oh. I'm good. I heard you about to blow. Cut my finger, fall off the roof. Yeah. Don't curse. I was trying not to. Sorry. All right, mat transfer. Mat transfer from shingle 4 to shingle 6. Exposed fiberglass mat on shingle 4. Mat transfer on the underside of shingle 6. All right. So yeah, we got more here. You know, I have a feeling that this is probably an Owens Corning shingle. Their sealants are just very strong, and sometimes create these complications or condition changes. Mat transfer from shingle 6 to shingle 8. Exposed fiberglass mat on shingle 6. Shingle 6. This lighting is just not great. Mat transfer on the underside of shingle 8. No, more here. Mat transfer from shingle 5 to shingle 7. Exposed fiberglass mat on shingle 5. Mat transfer on the underside of 7. So at this point, I mean, every single shingle has been impacted due to unsealing. The shingles pull throughs. I saw that it begins to have, a little delamination right here. But we're going to go ahead and just reinstall this assessment shingle to complete our assessment. And we obviously know that this shingle matches. Real quick before we do that, can I get your sorry, I know you're juggling that thing. Thanks. Sorry. Alright, so we are measuring at 39 3/8, so well, we'll be pulling it back out and sending it off anyways, so I was just curious on the length. Okay, so I'm going to get my shingle reset. Grab my roofing nails here. Alright, so I'm going to start off by reinstalling my fasteners under number 5 for our assessment shingle. So once again, when I lift this shingle, I try to only lift it as high as I have to. Shingle manufacturer's specifications state that we have to install fasteners flush to the decking. That meaning we have to put the hammer flush and have room to strike. So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that was just human error right there, but that does, I mean, it is something that happens. We do have a chip here in number 5. Once again, we're trying not to lift these any higher than we have to when we're doing a repair. But once again, have to make sure that we're installing it properly. Alright, so we got our fasteners put in for our first course row. Now we're going to go under 7 and 8. Once again, these are the ones that create a little bit more complications due to the shingles above not being unsealed. So, it gives a little bit more tension. Once again, we try to lift with the back of our hand. when you have this mat transfer here now, it's basically weakened the integrity of the shingle. If you're nailing anywhere near it and then wind comes through in the future, it's just not going to have the same tension and strength that it had prior to the repair. Roof cement can be used, but once again, as a temporary repair, not as a permanent fix. And right here, so this is how I heard it just crack. So this is finally kind of like completely delaminated now. Let me go ahead and just delamination number 8. Delamination 8. Let me get my last fastener in here, and that will complete our assessment. All right. So at this point, as you can see, we have had delamination, mat transfer, pull-throughs, tears, impact damage on the edge of number 5. At this time, I cannot recommend that any kind of spot repairs would be a viable solution to be able to uphold the integrity of this roofing system and continue to shed water properly. So thank you very much.